a line drive kick, and it goes past Rogers and Sidney out of the end zone, a touchback. Anderson is accounted for the 6 New Orleans points. But it'll be Joe Montana leading the way.
Rather sloppy first half penalties. You got to figure that these guys haven't played in a while, and you got to expect it. I never really gave a whole lot of thought to penalties. For some reason, it never entered my mind that we would see a lot of penalties. I expect maybe some pulled muscles, some cramps, and some fatigue, but for the most part, it's just been the penalties are the thing that has stood out.
On the 21st and 10, Russ Francis goes in motion, and the handoff to Roger Craig, trying to go outside. And Craig is hit there by number 27, Antonio Gibson. Craig in the first half gained 40 yards on 9 carries and caught 3 passes. So he got off to a slow start and then came on strong.
Well, he's the guy they want to involve. He's the man that they run with the football. He's the man they get the ball to out of the backfield, and he can do it all. 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving. Just an overall extremely talented running back.
Ball at the 23. Montana doing most of his work through the air, and this time Pat Swilling gets through for his 2nd sack of the game and the 3rd by the Saints.
Well, you can credit this sack with Jim Wilkes. Jim Wilkes, the right defensive end, ties up the blockers, ties up the tackles, and then 56 Swilling will come inside left of your screen. As you can see, he's inside, and then all of a sudden Guy McIntyre, number 62, the left guard, says, oh my gosh, that's my man. Too late. Swilling gets the sack.
Loss of 11 on the play. Swilling, a 2nd-round pick out of Georgia Tech. He's got the whole package. 3rd down and 18, back at the 12-yard line for the Niners. Montana with a quick release hits Jerry Rice, and Rice is not going anywhere. Van Jakes, with help from Ricky Jackson, bring him down. And the Saints defense comes out strong here in the first series, and Max Runniger will come in to kick it. Mel Gray going deep. He returned a kickoff 101 yards for a touchdown last year against San Francisco. End over end by Runniger. Gray fell down. And the ball bounces. Torrey Nixon is there, and the Niners to down it. Gray lost his footing after Runniger put his foot to it.
Well, one nice thing about being on artificial surface, you can get a bad kick, and if you hit the point of the ball right, you get 20 more yards out of it.
Syracuse and Pittsburgh, a big Eastern battle that the whole country should enjoy next week. Are the Orange for real? They beat Penn State, but now they've got to go against the Panthers. Pitt beat Notre Dame this year, so that's a feather in their cap, while Syracuse crushed Penn State.
Well, Pitt beat Notre Dame, but they look very sluggish against Navy, so they play the big teams well. So I think Pitt, Panthers, Syracuse is going to be a dynamite game. Panthers might upset them. You would like that, would you?
No. Alma Mater, no. First and 10 at the 37. 17-6 to score. Hebert hits Mike Jones. And close to first down yardage at the 47-yard line, and it is a first down. Ronnie Lott and Jim Fonhorst on the stop.
Well, you like to see that. The most important thing for a quarterback is confidence. And if it takes a 2-yard pass or a 4-yard pass to gain the confidence, then let's do it. And I think what they're trying to accomplish here is come out and throw any kind of pass to get some confidence to Hebert.
Jones caught the pass in the first series, and this was his 2nd reception. On the 48, first down, Hayes dives forward into 49er territory to the 46-yard line before Michael Walter, one of the inside backers, makes the tackle and a pickup of about 6.
Key to any running attack is the blocking of the tight end and tackles, not so much the guards and centers, but tight end and tackle. The tight end and the tackle are the guy that keep you inside and get you outside with your running game.
Hayes goes out of the game for a breather. He has gained 89 yards on 15 carries, replaced by Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard and Word back there, and here is Hilliard, spins his way forward, and another Saint first down to the 40-yard line of the Niners, where Dwayne Board made the stop.
Jim Mora said that Dalton Hilliard was their best all-around back that they have. He's a guy that can run with the football, catch it. He's a guy that can block. He's a guy that has the most talent of all our running backs, yet he is not a starter. Mays is.
Hilliard was a higher draft pick than Mays. Mays went third, Hilliard second. Hilliard out of LSU, and a first down at the 40. Gets the call again, and Hilliard into a crowd. Picks up about 2, and he ran into Michael Carter, the solid nose tackle. Carter has a huge weight advantage over Joel Hilgenberg, the center on the New Orleans Saints.
Carter's 285, Hilgenberg's 265, number 61 against 95, and you can see Carter just simply throws him off, recalls, comes back, and makes the stick.
Gain of only 2, 2nd and 8 at the 38-yard line. 11:25 remaining in the third quarter. And there's a delay to Ruben Mays, and Mays gets tripped up, but may have another first down. Tina Turner tripped up Mays. He would have had more yardage, but a first down at the 29-yard line for the Saints, and they're rolling here in this third quarter.
It's a well-deceived play. Hebert making it look like a pass. At 61 Hilgenberg, Jim Mora says, quickest hands I've ever had in any of my offensive linemen. Quick hands, no one to block there. Turns back inside. Carter goes back down inside, no one there. Well-described play. No one knew where the ball was going.
And a first down. Mays on the threshold of a 100-yard gain. He has 98. Hebert to throw it up the middle, and it's caught. And Hobie Brenner is down at the 15, and another first down for the Saints. A gain of 14 yards. Von Horst and Walter on the stop on Hobie Brenner.
Well, if you can throw the football, then you can turn around and run the football, and you can mix it up. You can drive people crazy. They're running the ball well. Hebert comes out now, and he says, where's my boy, Hobie Brenner? There he is. Good job. Now, here's the time. Look at Hilgenberg, 61 on Carter, the nose tackle. Notice the quick hands and feet. These are the things that Morris said make him so outstanding.
And Mays off the right side, head down, gets to the 10-yard line. Saints with their deepest penetration in the ball game, and once again the 2 inside linebackers, Jim Von Horst and Michael Walter, make the stop. And I would have to think, Terry, that even though it's only an 11-point game, that the Saints have to come out of this with some points.
Well, they need a touchdown. Some points, as I said at the closing of the first half in the form of field goals. No, right now they need a touchdown.
Second down and 6 at the 10. Mays trying to go outside. Tina Turner, and Mays gets outside and is out of bounds. Penalty marker thrown as Mays is down at the 5. Ronnie Lott made the hit. Mays got by Tina Turner, and a flag appears to be against the 49ers.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, 42, defense, after distance to the goal line, first down.
And they love it in New Orleans. Ronnie Lott guilty there, half the distance and a first down.
Same play. The second time they've run this play in the drive. It's a sprint draw. Hebert to the left, hands back to Mays. Now he turns on the speed and gets around Tina Turner. Now he's out of bounds, and Ronnie Lott just helps him out a little further. And you can't do that, and we'll take a little photographer and a ball boy with you.
Mays has now gained 107 yards. 7th time in his career he's gone over 100. First and goal at the 2. Ice in motion. Mays fights his way to the 1. 9:15 remaining in the third quarter. 17-6 the 49ers lead, and the Saints are threatening. And Mays gets a hand as he goes out. ...128 yards against the 49ers here last year. Second and goal at the 2. And they give it to Barry Word, who can't get in. Second effort doesn't do it, and now it's third and goal, and it looks like the Saints are intent on penetrating the middle of that line, and Michael Walter was equal to the challenge.
Let's call a goal line defense, and you have 4 tackles down inside, and when you try to run everything up the middle, it's extremely hard. That's why on second down, sometimes you like to put a guy in motion and play action and get outside and run or pass. Now you're in third down. They've run twice. Tice has gone in motion both times. Now look for Tice to go in motion, play action, and throw it to him.
Let's see. You were right last week for Atlanta. 3rd and goal. Play action. Hebert to Brenner, overthrown. And the former USC performer defended by Charles Haley, and now it is 4th down, and they've got to bring in Morton Anderson now. Here he comes.
Well, Tice went in motion. There's your play action to your eye back. He makes a nice job of diving, and here's the pass. Actually, what happened was that Hebert didn't get his feet set, threw off his back foot. Consequently, he overthrows Opie Brenner in the corner of the end zone.
A tough spot for the Saints not to get 6, and it's 4th down, and Morton Anderson will try a field goal 19 yards with Hansen holding. Anderson's 2 for 3 today, and now he's 3 for 4. The field goal is good, but it leaves you with a little bit of a bad taste considering how good the Saints looked on the drive. They settled for 3, and with that much time remaining in the 3rd, it's now a 17-9 game. 3. Now it's Sidney. Harry Sidney with the ball and going outside. Still carries a few defenders and knocked out of bounds at the 26 by Mike Waters. Talk about ball control. The Saints had it right there, my friend.
Well, that's what you want. 5 minutes, 38 seconds, 12 plays that accomplish everything you do. And if you can run the football and mix in a little passing and score touchdowns, hey, that's all you can ask of an offense. That's what you want.
Well, they need a touchdown and a field goal to take the lead in this game, do the Saints. 7:54 remaining in the 3rd. 1st and 10, 49ers on the 25. Montana to throw on 1st down, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Wilson was the intended receiver downfield.
That time, what the Saints did was come out in their form of the Chicago 46, take their 2 ends inside alongside of Elliott, and all 3 of those guys got up in the face of Joe Montana, put the pressure on him, and knocked the football down to the ground.
Tony Elliott, the nose tackle, got a hand up, so it's 2nd and 10. Montana dumps it off this time. Doug Dubose, and Dubose carries it out to the 31-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Doug Dubose, rookie free agent out of Nebraska, the penalty marker. And it goes against the 49ers. Holding.
Holding, number 77, offense, still 2nd down.
Bubba Paris, the huge left tackle.
That's a good description. I saw him yesterday. I said, Bubba, you're looking good. I said, you look trim and slim. He says, no, not really, Terry, but I sure appreciate that.
You were trying to be nice to him.
I was. I meant it. He does look nice. Looks trim to me.
Depends on your definition. 2nd down and 20. Montana over the middle, and Roger Craig drops another one. That's 3 that Craig has lost today. And that one, like the last one on the flare, was wide open.
This is the 3rd pass Roger Craig has dropped, and this ball, had he caught it, was for a bundle. Now you notice Montana says, I don't believe it. This guy never drops anything. Every time I throw him a pass, he catches it, but not today.
And an injured player down is Bubba Paris, the left tackle. And it's interesting as you talk about the regulars coming back, Montana and Craig have played together in these games.
Well, they have, but normally when a back like Craig drops the ball, it's simply a matter of a fact that he's not concentrating, not having his eyes on the ball. He's looking up the field prior to making the catch.
On his 15-yard line, under pressure, dumps it off. Craig holds on this time, and he is stopped 10 yards short of a 1st down at the 26 by Van Jakes. And it'll be 4th down. And so once again, Terry, in the 2nd half, the Saints defense skitterish early in the ball game will look awfully tough.
Well, the difference so far in the 2nd half has been the pressure applied by the defense of the Saints on Montana. He hasn't had a chance to set up and throw the ball the way he wants to.
Roniker kicking and a good high boot. Mel Gray with a fair catch at the 27-yard line. So the Saints, who are cutting into the lead slowly, down 17-9, have the ball again when we come back to the Superdome. Play action. Hebert has plenty of time looking for a man, and Lonzel Hill gets turned around, and he's out of bounds inside the 30. Ronnie Lott covering on the play, and that came so close to being a huge gainer.
Big play by Hill as he went outside down the field. Hebert got outside. Now look at this. He's 7-8 yards ahead of Ronnie Lott. Then Hebert leads him to the outside.
We might have had a problem with the time.
You see Hebert's reaction to the inside. I would have shown a lot more reaction to that if I'd have had a guy wide open for a touchdown.
It is second down. There was a call by the official, no penalty marker down. It is still second down and 10. And I'm not sure whether it was the clock wasn't right. It shows 6:40 or
Hill probably stepped out of bounds and came back
just
in.
like Francis did earlier.
Exactly.
Second and 10. Hebert dumps it off to Ruben Mays. And Mays forward to the 30-yard line. It was Tim McKyer who slowed him up. And a gain of only 2 yards. So now third down and 8.
72, excuse me, Jim Dombrowski, #1 draft choice last year, the Saints, Dick. Left tackle. He's the guy that they're building a future on. He's a #1, which is unusual. You make a draft choice, a #1 draft choice being a tackle. But look at this. Dwayne Board, 8-year veteran, just throws him to the ground. Makes you have to wonder, kind of wonder, doesn't it, if you have a guy that big that gets thrown to the ground by another guy that he outweighs 20 pounds?
Must take time for those offensive linemen to develop. Third down and 8. Hebert stepping up and going to Hill, and Hill makes the catch. Lonzel Hill with a 36-yard catch and a fine pass by Hebert. McKyer on the stop.
Ideal situation, left of your screen. Ronnie Lott, 42, will safety blitz. Hebert steps up in the pocket, finds Lonzel Hill, 87, going down the field as he's covered man for man by 22. 22 is Tim McKyer. Makes a fine catch.
Lonzel Hill is the son of J.D. Hill, who was an all-pro with both the Lions and the Bills. And it's first and 10 at the 34 now. Ruben Mays with blockers, runs into Ronnie Lott and knocks him back to the 25. And 9 yards that time by Ruben Mays, who has gone over 100 now with 116 in the game. Good block by Hobie Brenner, the tight end. Second and 1 at the 25. So the big pass play, 36 yards from Hebert to Lonzel Hill, puts the Saints in business here. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Well, they've been down here, and all they've gotten out of this is 3 field goals. They need to get a touchdown.
Dalton Hilliard in the backfield now. Hilliard cuts inside, has a first down, and gets to the 20-yard line. Ronnie Lott on the stop. 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. And the Saints, trailing 17-9, are threatening to come closer.
Well, there's an old saying, you know, when momentum shifts, things seem to just all of a sudden nothing's happened good for you. Then when momentum gets on your side, everything seems to start happening. And for the Saints, in the second half, they're throwing the football, running the football, playing defense, all the things that they should have been doing from the beginning.
First and 10 on the 20-yard line. Eric Martin, a lone wide receiver, in motion. Inside handoff to Barry Word, and he gets knocked back. And so far today, anyway, Barry Word out of Virginia has not given the Saints what they wanted from the fullback spot, and that is some decent yardage on the ground. Roberts on the stop with Lott's help.
Lonzel Hill, 87, has the initials on his feet. Now, obviously, when you take a magic marker and write down JD on your footwear, and it indicates you're not a star in the National Football League yet. Once you become a star, then you get your name. Look at this. Look at this, JD. Maybe that's the name of the future shoe company, JD.
Second down and 7 at the 17. Ruben Mays slices inside to the 10 and the 5, loses the ball. A fumble, and the Saints have recovered. You remember in the first quarter, Mays lost the ball, and Lott brought back and set up the first touchdown. Word recovered here on the fumble by Mays.
Fine job by Kaminsky and Dombrowski, 72. As you see, 99, Walker come inside. He misses the initial tackle. Then all of a sudden, Farnhorst misses, allowing Mays into the secondary. Then, of course, he fumbles the football again for the second time today.
First down and goal at the 7-yard line. The Saints have not scored a touchdown today. Hebert knocked away by Keena Turner, and it was Hobie Brenner who was back there wide open, and a sensational play by Keena Turner, who came seemingly out of nowhere.
Nothing much, there's nothing really fancy about this. From the left of your screen, you'll see Hobie Brenner, 85, go down and come across to the right. And then Hebert just stares him down and tries to fire the football in there. And by staring him down, he brought 58, Keena Turner, all the way from the right back over to the left, who doggone nearly made an interception there. So,
well, the Saints have dominated this quarter, even though they still trail. Second down and goal at the 7. Hilliard hits one defender and is down at the 2-yard line. It was Ronnie Lott and Dalton Hilliard. Of course, he's so tough that the Saints tell us that he can play defense.
Hilliard coming inside. He's a low player, 5'9". As you can see, he gets underneath Lott, but Lott, probably one of the finest tackling safeties ever played in the National Football League, met the match and stopped him.
Look at that total offense this half. The huge edge by the Saints. Third and goal at the 2. Big play. Dalton Hilliard doesn't get in, and he stopped, and once again a fourth down. Jeff Stover, who was just activated prior to the ball game, made the play. So when it comes down to goal line situations, the Saints having a lot of trouble running inside.
One of the things you cannot do, I don't believe this, is you can't line up in the eye at the goal line and hand the ball to the deep back and allow him to score a touchdown without him jumping over the line of scrimmage. When you do that, get in the eye, you'll allow the recovery factor of the down linemen and the linebackers. It just takes too long to make a play happen. You have to line them up and do it quickly and not wait so long.
This will be a 19-yard attempt by Morton Anderson. And the kick is good. They didn't get the touchdown, but they got 3 more. And Morton Anderson has kicked his 4th field goal of the ball game with 38 seconds to go in the quarter. It's now 17-12. Rogers, a yard in the end zone, returns the kick to the 15-yard line. You do have to cash in, as you put it.
Against a football team as good as the 49ers, and especially one in your own division, it's very important when you get inside the 5 with 4 down that you score touchdowns.
Other scores around the league. Tampa Bay clings to their advantage. Look at Green Bay in the 4th quarter, and Philadelphia going to work against the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets over the Washington Redskins. And look at this shocker, Indianapolis. We run them all off, and Buffalo making it close. First and 10 for the 49ers with 29 seconds to go. They're on their own 16. Roger Craig charges in front and gets a couple, and that's all. 49ers had 11 first downs in the second quarter and none here in this one. Now the clock starts again. Second down, 9 at the 17. Well, the Saints can't score a touchdown, but if they do get a touchdown, they would take the lead. That'll do it here in the quarter. And that's the end of the third quarter here at the Superdome with the score, the 49ers 17, the Saints 12. The line. Craig and Dubose are the running backs. And the first man through is Craig. Gets tripped up and is stopped at the 20. It'll be third down, and making the tackle, Gibson and Maxey in the secondary.
One of the things that Jim Mora likes about his defensive linemen, he talks about all of them, but number 75 Bruce Clark, bad knee and all, arthritic knee, but the thing that Mora says classifies him as magic quickness.
3rd and 5 at the 21. Montana, and finds his man out of bounds, Jerry Rice. And a first down for the 49ers on their own 30-yard line. Van Jakes defending on the play.
Going back to the first quarter where the defensive backs of the Saints had all those interference penalties, now you're noticing the effect. It carries on even to the fourth quarter. Van Jakes laying way off, allowing the receivers to come down, get way up underneath him. And boy, against a quarterback like Montana, it won't work.
Rice has caught 4 passes for 31 yards. That's the first down for San Francisco this half. At the 30, Dubose. He had Steve Wallace blocking in front of him. By the way, Bubba Paris has a sprained right calf, and the word is he might come back.
Looking at 99, Tony Elliott. The nose tackle, Mora says he talks to him, and he talks to him in glowing terms because as a nose tackle, his responsibility is to take the guards in the center and very little glamour. And he says, I have to go up to him and tell him and remind him what a great job you're doing.
Has his first name on the shirt, too. Must be special. Johnny Poe in the game. Nickel back. And pass is dropped by Ron Heller, the tight end. He would have had a first down easy on 3rd and 6.
Montana 31 for 39 last week. Everyone catching everything he threw today. He's had all these passes dropped. Faked the pitch out, rolls to the right. Heller 89, faked the block, and then rolled out with Montana and simply dropped the football. My gosh.
Montana now 14 of 27, just about over 50%, but a lot of those passes have been dropped.
That's a great day for me, but it's a horrible day for Montana.
Ah, come on.
I'm serious.
3rd and 6. Montana. And incomplete. Getting a hand on it is Mike Wilson, but that's all, and it's 4th down. So for the 3rd time in this second half, the Saints have held defensively, and Max Runeker will come in and kick it away, and Mel Gray goes back for the Saints. And the kick is blocked. And it's going to be a touchdown. Alvin Cole. It was Van Jakes who blocked the kick by Runeker, and Alvin Cole, the backup linebacker and a former #1 draft pick out of Tennessee, rambled in with the first touchdown of the game by the Saints. They did it on special teams, and the Saints lead it 18-17. And Morton Anderson kicks the conversion, and it's a 19-17 game. We'll return to the Superdome now after a word from your local station. The Saints that put them in front for the second time today.
Well, special team coach Joe Marciano, they work on the block. You can see Van Jakes, 22 from the right side of your screen, gets inside, blocks the football, and Toles, 54, goes beyond the kicker, spots the ball way up in the air, gets it at the 11-yard line, and scampers 11 yards to put the Saints in the lead for the first time today. Hey, if your offense can't score, do it with special teams.
16 unanswered points by the Saints after trailing 17-3. 1st and 10 on the 20. Dubose trying to go outside and is knocked out of bounds on a tremendous hit by Vaughn Johnson.
You can see a carryover now. The Saints finally have the lead. You notice now the tackling. Vaughn Johnson getting inside. Now they're really trying to crush. You can sense the momentum, and everything's changed now in favor of the Saints. Now it's Montana's turn to take it away from him, and he can.
Vaughn Johnson, #1 pick in the USFL supplemental draft out of North Carolina State. Second down and 6 on the 24. Dubose again with cross blocking. And he is clobbered by 2 or 3 members of the Saints, particularly Vaughn Johnson again.
Dubose getting up, putting his helmet strap back on, wondering what's happened. But I've been in situations like this where you're in someone else's field and you play in a game like this, Dick, and you've had control of the game, and now you've let them take control. And you can tell by the hitting. The Saints are letting the 49ers know we want this game.
Third down and 5. And Montana running away from trouble. And Montana dives forward for the first down to the 32-yard line. Reggie Sutton making the stop on Montana.
John Pease said the thing that we fear the most with Montana, John Pease, defensive line coach of the Saints, is that when he pumps that football, we want him to bring it back up and have to deke it off to the backs or run with it. Because they know he's got a back problem, and they don't think he will run, but he surprised them then by getting the first down.
12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Plenty of time. First down for the Niners on their own 32. Montana going up top for Jerry Rice, and Rice has it. And Rice is down, and a penalty marker as well, and we may have a face mask with Dave Waymer defending on that play.
So much in the 49er passing attack is a situation. Bring in a player, isolate, get him deep, get him short. Each receiver does something special. Rice, special forte, going deep, burning defensive backs. That time he and Montana hook up.
Dick Jorgensen.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask, number 44, defense.
Back 15 yards on, Dave Waymer.
Very simply placed. You can see Montana back, has his eyes on Rice all the way. Turns around, lost a beautiful spiral, and then Rice beats Waymer. Not that much, but you don't need much. There's the perfect throw, and there's the right hand on the face mask. You can see it there.
That is the 6th penalty against the Saints secondary. Second against Waymer, and it's a 1st and 10. Jerry Rice, already one of the greats in the league, and an audible called by Montana.
Reads blitz.
1st and 10 on the 14, and the look-in pass will go for a touchdown to Mike Wilson. Exactly what happened, and Wilson was there. Van Jakes defending, and a 14-yard scoring pass, and the Niners regain the lead.
Very simply placed. Montana reads the free safety, 39 moving over. That's Brett Maxey. When Montana sees him go to the right, he turns around and goes to the left. It's a double slant, but he keys the free safety, and that's 39, Brett Maxey. Maxey goes right, Montana goes left. Maxey goes left, Montana goes right.
Third touchdown pass of the game by Montana. He's hit 3 different targets. Jerry Rice, Ron Heller, and now Mike Wilson. And it's now 23-19, San Francisco leading.
And you could rock your baby to sleep right now in this building. That's how quiet it has gotten. Little Rachel could go to sleep.
She sure could. Worthing's kick is good, and it's a 24-19 game. And Terry, now the Saints are back where they were a few moments ago, needing a touchdown to take the lead. By 1, but not the second defender, and he is stopped at the 21-yard line by Harry Sidney. Well, last week the Saints were down to the Bears 17-3 and won 19-17. That was the score moments ago, and it didn't take the 49ers long, less than 2 minutes, to regain the lead on the touchdown pass.
It doesn't take long to find out what you're made of. The old saying is a gut check. It's all these things, but in essence, that's what it is. You find out what you're made of as an athlete. Can you handle pressure situations? A lot of athletes handle pressure situations better than they do the simple first and second down, and a lot of guys are lousy. We'll put the heat on them. Bingo, they shine.
Well, let's see if Hebert can shine here with 11:15 to go in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 at the 22 for the Saints. Mays on a fake reverse keeps the ball, and Mays out to the 28-yard line is 3.5 yards shy of a first down, and making the tackle is Tim McKyer.
You got to give Jim Finks and his scouts a lot of credit for picking this guy in the 3rd round. This guy is talking about Mays, 22 carries, 133 yards, Just turned out to be a superb bat. Just outstanding.
So he surpassed the 128 he picked up against the 49ers here last year. 2nd and 4. We'll call it at the 28. Play action, and Hebert looking wide open is Gray, and Gray has it and should have a first down at the 32. It's going to be close where they spot it.
Bringing Gray out like that is a read. The Saints run their routes with what they call the read route. As he comes off the line of scrimmage, Gray reads the corners, safeties, and linebackers, anyone in that area. And if the route calls for him to go deep and they're deep, then he breaks that route off. And he and Hebert have to be on the same page. That time Gray came out, saw everybody deep. So he just simply checked up, and Hebert got him the football.
Not that the offense has done all that much scoring-wise, touchdown-wise, but you notice they haven't been yelling for Fort Cade when the Saints took that 19-17 lead.
Well, Dick, the bottom line in the National Football League is win. I mean, that's all anybody cares about, and they like to see a little excitement, along the way. And the Saints in the second half have given these fans a lot of reasons to stay here in the full forum.
1st and 10 at the 32, under 10 minutes to go. Balloons in your view.
Mardi Gras sign.
Hebert lays it up, and McKyer and Gray battle for it, and it's an incompleted pass. I think he gets gun shy, and everyone turns around and thinks that there might be a penalty. The Saints have really been burned in passes down there on defense. Maybe they were hoping it wouldn't be an offensive call.
Lonzel Hill, the wide receiver to the right. As you can see, the arm that the Cajun rifle Hebert has, but that ball is actually, his arm is hit as he delivers the football. I'm surprised he got it as far as he did. Pretty good throw, isn't it, considering his arm was hit? Excellent throw.
For a lot of quarterbacks, that's their big effort, huh?
Well, I guess. But even bigger if he'd have caught it.
2nd and 10. Mays, couple of blockers in front. Dives forward to the 40-yard line. Will pick up a 3rd and short yardage. Michael Walter on the stop.
This is the old Bullets play. This is where you pull the left guard and the left tackle, the old Washington Redskins. Kaminsky 66 and the left tackle Dombrowski 72. Pull to the right, and then you can see Mays in there right on their back, and he cuts off of them. That's called the Bullets. That's the old Washington Redskins play that Riggins made so famous.
3rd down and 1. It's a long one at the 41-yard line. Winding down to 9 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Mays picked up the blocker, and the pass is caught for a first down. And it's Lonzel Hill, but you have to credit Reuben Mays for picking up the blitzer on the outside, allowing Hebert to have time to complete the pass. Lott made the stop on Lonzel Hill.
Reuben Mays, they say, is a complete football player. If you're going to run it, you got to block. You got to share a little bit of that and help everyone else out. And obviously, this young man, he's got the ability to block. Mora said, hey, he can block. He can problem blocking.
1st and 10 at midfield. 5-point lead by the 49ers, and a handoff and a loss on the play. And that was Mays, and the protection and the blocking broke down up front, and it was Dwayne Board and Doug Nicholas, who was one of the replacement players activated by the 49ers, who made the stop.
Well, that's that play we saw in the first half, the old counter delayed draw, and they ran that twice. Mays actually ran about 20-something yards earlier in the first half, as you recall, going down in the score. 49ers have come out in the second half and said, no, we're not going to do that.
2nd and 16 as you check the scores. 4th quarter scores in the NFL. Hebert, and his pass is caught, and a great catch right there. Mike Jones with his 3rd reception of the game. Tim McKyer defending 33 yards, and Jones has made 3 big catches today.
A lot of people will say this is a better catch than a throw, but as a quarterback, You can't throw a better pass than when you underthrow it just a little bit. Once again, pressure in Hebert's face. Excellent coverage by McIyer, but an underthrown ball allows the receiver the advantage. Underthrow it, he's able to adjust to it. A defensive back can't do it quick enough.
1st and 10, and the Saints now to the 23-yard line.
You know, the strange thing here, Dick, is that Mora said our receivers are all moderate pass receivers. In other words, no deep threat here. All our guys are just medium, short pass runners, not deep guys, but, hey, Jones showed them there.
So is Hill today. Mays looking outside, and great pursuit by the 49ers. Don Griffin finally knocked him out of bounds. A loss on the play of about a yard, but Dwayne Board and Michael Walter, a couple of big people, were chasing him as well.
There's a play that most National Football League teams have. It's called sprint right, throwback screen to the tight end. And you do it against a defense that's extremely aggressive. And this 49er defense, with Dwayne Board being the right defensive end, this is a great opportunity for Hebert to play action, sprint right, and throwback screen to John Tice.
Eric Martin and Lonzel Hill are the 2 wide receivers. 2nd down and 11. Now they have 3 with Mel Gray. Ball at the 24. Hebert in trouble. Fires it away, and it's caught inside the 20-yard line. John Tice with a terrific catch, and it looked as if he was just firing it to get it away, and Tina Turner complaining to Dick Jorgensen on that one.
Well, it looks like Keena may have been complaining that it was a sack, but you're going to see the pressure. May steps up inside trying to help out Hebert, but the pressure's too great. From the outside, now Keena's there. The 99, Walter's there. But a fine job by Hebert just getting rid of the football. I see nothing wrong with that.
He got away from Michael Carter as well, who had penetrated.
Keena's complaining, I bet you, about someone holding him.
3rd down and 7 at the 20. Saints already in field goal range. Blitz. Hebert lays it up, and it goes incomplete. Both Wilson and Harris. Jones and Harris were down there, and it fell in between. Incomplete pass. Lott and Griffin were covering on the play. They had 2 receivers in the same area.
Well, 2 receivers in the same area is fine. The inside guy is supposed to go to the inside, but Bobby Hebert that time threw it beyond the first guy and way underneath the second guy. He just didn't know exactly where he wanted to throw it. He should have laid it up for one or the other.
Here is Morton Anderson, who is attempting to tie a Saints record, looking for his 5th field goal of the game. This from 37 yards. And Anderson's kick is good. So the Saints offense still has not scored a touchdown today. They have produced a field goal on each of the last 4 drives, and it is now a 2-point game. The 49ers in front. The score, and the kick going to Del Rogers after 4. And Rogers is stopped at the 20-yard line.
A while ago, I was talking about the last pass by Hebert. He didn't give the short guy an opportunity to catch it, nor did he give the long guy. He threw the ball in between. Notice wide on the slot guy. The ball is thrown way past him, but yet way under Mike Jones. Now, the frustrating part, the frustration shows here. Look at this action by Hebert, pointing to the ground. He's either hollering, telling him throw a flag, or one of the receivers ran the wrong route.
49ers, 1st and 10 on the 20. Jerry Rice in motion. On the counter, play action pass, and out of the backfield is Roger Craig. And Craig gets the 1st down to the 34-yard line. And now for an NFL Today report, we're going to go to Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Well, Dick, Jim McMahon, playing for the first time this year in this half, dives in for the touchdown, but now the Bears blow an extra point. So it's a 6-point lead by Tampa Bay. About 5 minutes left in that game. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, Brent, so the Buccaneers trying to hold off the on-charging Bears. And right now, it's anyone's game. The 49ers, with 5 minutes to go, have a 1st and 10 on their own 34, leading by just 2 points. Craig, outside, stopped, and a loss, and a big play by Van Jakes.
One of the things they like about Van Jakes, and the reason they moved Johnny Pope from right corner starter to backup weak safety, is that Van Jakes not only gives them a defensive back with great quickness and that can cover deep, but a guy that also is extremely strong and supports extremely fast. He read that well and was up there before anyone could block him.
2nd and 12. So once they settle down, these guys in the secondary have looked pretty good. Montana pumps, and down he goes. That's the 4th sack of the game by the Saints, and it was Frank Warren with help from Bruce Clark.
I don't want to beat a dead horse to death, but Jim Mora said we want to make him punt, and then we want to make him recoil and bring it back up, and we don't think he'll run with the football. That time, Bruce Clark, number 75, gets inside, beats his man, finds Montana on the outside, forces him to pull it back down, and gets the sack.
Here's a 3rd and 17, and this crowd is turned on. On their feet, waving the gold pom-pom. Montana. And the pass is called complete at the 45 to Jerry Rice, who just stayed in bounds with both feet, a gain of 18 yards and a 1st down, and he knew exactly where to go to make the cut, and he kept his feet in bounds. What a sensational performer Jerry Rice is.
Well, the thing that's so impressive about this is that that route is normally a 14-yard route, but Rice drove the defensive back deep enough that when he came back for the football, he would be beyond the marker that would give him the 1st down if he made the catch. He did make the catch. It is a 1st down.
That may be the big play of this game. We'll see a gain of 18. 1st and 10 for the Niners. And up the middle goes Craig for a couple. And now the 49ers, with a 2-point lead, will try to use up as much time as they can. As you see what's left. Now the clock stops as they unpile. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The ball at midfield.
I don't think the 49ers are going to move the sticks by running it. I think they're going to do it by throwing it. But what you're going to see is 1st and 2nd down. More than likely, Montana's going to run the football in 3rd down, try to get his 1st down with a pass.
Dubose is the lone back. Craig is on the wing. And now Montana doesn't like what he sees and calls a timeout.
Timeout.
Oh, they got out of too tight and went to too wide.
And it's a running play. Craig. And Craig gets knocked back. He was looking as if he had the 1st down, but Vaughn Johnson knocked him back a yard shy. And with under 3 minutes to go, it's 3rd down and about a yard, less than a yard really, for a 1st down.
Something about black jerseys that bring out the meanness in people. Vaughn Johnson, the hits that we've called out on him today have been outstanding, and that was a classic example of a linebacker squaring up and meeting the best running back the 49ers have and preventing him from getting the 1st down.
3rd down and 1. Quarterback sneak, and it's going to be close.
He didn't make it.
It looked like his helmet got to the line of, or to the 45, and the marker is just beyond that. Unsure. Let's see if the 49ers call for a measurement in any event. It would make it 4th down, and it is. They won't measure, and Bill Walsh.
Of all the people to give the ball to, you got a guy that has a bad back. You've got running backs you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to, and $1 million for the quarterback to throw it. Give it to a guy that can plunge in there.
They're going to let it go down to the 2-minute warning. The 49ers. It's 4th down and 1. Well, actually a couple of feet. And we'll see how Bill Walsh plays it. Saints have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Nearly blocked, and a high kick off to the side. Fair catch called for by Gray at the 23, and that's where the Saints will go to work. A 22-yard kick by Runeker, and the Saints, who have scored on field goals their last 4 possessions, would gladly take a field goal right here, and if they can stop San Francisco, it would be a victory for New Orleans.
2 minutes remaining in this football game for the Saints. Hebert has the opportunity now. He hasn't put the football in the end zone all day. And 77 yards, becoming a hero.
And all they need is to set it up for a three-pointer, and a whistle sounds. They have to get the markers in order. The only touchdown by the Saints today came on a block punt. He's on first down. Gets a yard, and that's all. Michael Walter making the tackle. Mays has been the big gun today for the Saints on the ground with 136 yards. Second down and a long 8.
This is, I don't understand the National Football League and why they don't have 2 plays called in the huddle and save 9, 10, 11 seconds. It's backwards now.
Hebert in the pocket, going to Lonzel Hill, who's got it. Clock continues to run, and a first down into 49er territory. Timeout, 31-yard gain.
New Orleans, first time off this half.
They've got 2 timeouts left.
McKyer, 22, the man that takes the chances, Bill Walsh says, gets in the hip pocket of Lonzel Hill. Fine throw is actually Hebert threw the ball to the disadvantaged side of the defensive back rather than the receiver, and Lonzel Hill made a fine adjustment. I would have to say, off of his performance today, this man might be the starting receiver for the Saints next week's game.
Second-round draft pick out of the University of Washington. Hebert, and what a difference a half makes in looking at his numbers. First and 10 for the Saints. They're on the 49ers' 43-yard line with 1:15 to go. They have 2 timeouts left. So does San Francisco, and Saints would love to get the touchdown, but a field goal would give them the lead. Herbert Harris in motion, and the pitch to Reuben Mays. Mays inside the 40. Stover on the tackle. And we're winding down to a minute to go.
The Saints are setting up for a field goal. Morton Anderson with 5 field goals. They're going to give him an opportunity to make it 6 and break his own record. I can tell you that simply because Mays is running the football, and if they wanted to put it in the end zone for a touchdown, they'd be throwing the ball. They'd be throwing the ball right now.
Second down and 5 at the 38-yard line. Again, it's Mays. Mays going outside and inside the 35 and close to a first down. The clock continues to run, and now the Saints use another timeout. Keena Turner and Jeff Fuller on this tackle, and now New Orleans has 1 timeout remaining, and all eyes on Morton Anderson. 1 timeout left, and Mays gets thrown back. He did not get the first down. He was knocked back to the 35-yard line by Dwayne Ford, and now the Saints are forced to use their last timeout. And it'll be 4th down and at least a yard now.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. Back in the eye, back again.
They didn't call the time, and the clock is running. And they're gonna have to call it when they get close to it, like 7 seconds or so. But you're right.
The second time today we've seen the Saints line up in a deep eye back in a short yardage situation, give the ball to the eye back 7, 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and say to him, go ahead against all these people and pick up the first down. It really is putting a great burden on your offensive lineman and your running back.
So here's the drama. Morton Anderson, who has kicked 5 field goals to tie his club record set in December of '85 when he was 5 for 5 against the LA Rams. Anderson will be looking for a club record 6 field goals. Only 8 players in NFL history have kicked 6 field goals in a game. Jim Bakken of the Cardinals has the record with 7. This is a 52-yard attempt. His career high is 55. You'll know it by the crowd. No good. Not even close. With 2 seconds to go, and the frustration on the faces of the Saints and relief for the 49ers.
Well, You can't be disappointed in Morton. You just have to be disappointed in questioning some of the strategy on behalf of the offensive coaches of the Saints. This man, Morton, has only missed 2 field goals today, both of them from 50 yards, so you can't expect him to constantly win games for you. You got to go in there and try to make first downs and give him a better opportunity.
You know what was interesting is that Ray Wersching, who's been through this so many times, the kicker for the 49ers, came out to console Morton Anderson after that miss, a 52-yard try, and now Joe Montana will run out the final 2 seconds, and the game is over, and the 49ers have won their 5th straight game and have now a record of 5-1 and a lead of at least 2 games in the NFC West. 24-22, the final score, as a field goal by Morton Anderson, 52 yards, off to the left. And there is Ray Wersching again out to talk to Morton Anderson. An exciting game, Terry, and the Saints made it close because of that man's foot.
Well, the Saints, if you want to pull out one thing today and the reason why the Saints lost is the inability of their offense to get it inside the 5-yard line.
And why the 49ers won, they had the big plays when they needed it. Joe Montana with 3 touchdown passes.
Jerry Rice making the big catches when they needed those. The running game wasn't so well, but their defense played well in the first half. In the second half, they bent, went inside the 5-yard line. They rose to the occasion and kept the Saints out of the end zone.
So the 49ers, one of only 3 teams during the strike to go undefeated, have come back with a success and a game that Bill Walsh certainly was concerned about, playing indoors against the Saints, the team he said would be the tough competition in the division. And the 49ers have answered that challenge, and they have now won 5 straight after an opening game loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And who knows? The Bears are having trouble. The Giants have started out with no victories in their first 5 games, and we may be looking at San Francisco, Washington, and Chicago as the dominant teams in the conference as we move to the second half of the season.
And that's true. And the possibility of the Saints coming on strong and upsetting some folks. They play very well out in San Francisco. They play the 49ers very well out there, so that could be an interesting rematch when they get back together. Saints shot at a wild card still.
24-22, the final score here at the Superdome.